lot of people ask me, is film school worth it? And it's kind of a loaded question. And I think that's a really good question to answer for wedding filmmakers, because it's like, what? Do I need to go to school for this? Can I just get a camera and blah, blah, blah? So I'm gonna give you two perspectives and really what I think is best. And what's really cool is I actually went to film school. Now, I didn't graduate. Me and my wife actually ended up getting married. So that's a whole nother story. But in a nutshell, I don't think film school is worth it. Now I'm gonna explain why that is, and because I know it's a huge topic, and this is just my opinion, so don't like blast me down in the comments where like film school, you have to go to film school, but I'm just going to talk about it a little bit. I hope that's okay. So I have a couple things. So why do I not think film school is worth it? Well, first, I think in the creative industry that we're in, people don't, like, when they book you for a wedding, they're not like, oh man, what film school did you go to? Like, I'm gonna sit and think before I make the decision. No, I mean, they literally just go to your website and say, is this work awesome? And do I feel like they can serve me at my day? If the answer is yes, they're gonna book you. It doesn't matter if you got a 3.0, 4.0, or what school you went to. And that's been so true for us in our business. We've been doing this for 10 years, and the only time anyone's ever asked what school that I went to was just a pure curiosity question of just like, oh, hey, like, I know of that school, but it was never like, I'm not gonna book you because of that. So that's one of the first things I think, or reasons I think it's not 100% mandatory. The other thing is film school is so expensive. I mean, for even the film school I was at, which was at like a private Christian school, for 4 years, and this was a couple of years ago, it was like, by the end of school, I'd be in like $50,000 of debt, which is just like, no. The worst thing you can do starting a business is to start it with piles of debt, because it's gonna be very, very difficult to climb out of that. So what I would rather see people do is if they're like, no, I need to go to school, I'd be like, oh, let's take a step back for a second. What if instead of investing $40,000 into film school, you kind of save $25,000 of it just as a little nest egg, and then with the other $25,000, you bought all the gear that you needed for wedding filmmaking. Like, you got all your cameras, your lenses, your audio equipment to literally, then this weekend, you go on B&H or Amazon and get everything you need to get started and just go. And you won't have all that debt. It's gonna be way less stressful. And in my opinion, that's all you need. You just need all the right equipment, and there's so many online, and that's kind of my third point, is there's so many online education resources right now where you could spend a couple $1,000s on some wedding filmmaking courses and have literally everything you need, versus $50,000 on an education. And what I found when I went to film school, and talking to some of my other friends who also went to film school, film is one of those things where it just changes so much so quickly that you could have a film professor who 10 years ago, the stuff that they were teaching was like top notch. But because film is so such a technical industry, literally within a couple months, the whole industry could change. What the cameras and the systems that were good 2 years ago are completely different now. And so that's another reason I just feel like a lot of the knowledge that you get at film school, especially for wedding filmmaking, it's not very applicable. It's kind of like, I didn't really need that. And really, I think the biggest thing film school gives you is how to think about storytelling. I think that's really, really important. But you don't need to go to film school for that. You could just, go to a couple seminars or read a couple awesome books on storytelling. And then, okay, so this is another thing people ask me. Well, what about the networking? Like, isn't that why people go to school, is to form, relationships with so many other filmmakers and professors, so that when they graduate, they'll have all these jobs lined up? And that's what I thought too. That was actually one of the biggest reasons I went to film school, was because I wanted to form relationships with people. But what I found is that personally is a little overhyped as well. Like, while I was in film school, I kind of just did my own thing. I made my own projects. I just worked on my own business and it worked out. And some of the deepest relationships I've formed with other wedding filmmakers and other filmmakers in the industry haven't been from people I met at film school. They're actually just people I've reached out to on Facebook and said, hey, you know, I love your work. Can we grab coffee? Like, I think that's kind of like a barrier people, or kind of like this, barrier people hide behind, like, oh, but what about the networking? I firmly believe if you want to form a network of solid filmmakers, you can do it, especially with Facebook nowadays and all the get-togethers and meetups. It's going to take some effort, but if you're not willing to put forth the effort, you're not going to be willing to put forth the effort at film school. So it's kind of like one of those weird things that I just think, even for the networking, it's not worth it. Now, okay, so I've kind of bagged on film school a lot. And I don't mean to say that it's the absolute worst, because for some people, college and film school is amazing. So these are some of the pros that I think film school is good for. So if you don't know for sure that you want to do wedding filmmaking, or even if you want to do film, you're not really 100% sure, school is great for that because it allows you to experience all these different types of, you know, filmmaking. So you could go to film school and you're like, I'm not sure if I want to do weddings or advertising or feature films. Well, you get to dabble in all of those in film school because they give you all the resources, all the, you know, connections to do that. And that's great. Or since you're at college and usually they make you do all these general education requirements, you may be in college and find, I don't even want to do film. I want to do English, or I want to be a biology major. And that's what school is great for, to kind of see and dabble in a bunch of other things. But if you're for sure wanting to do wedding film and you're like, this is what I want to do, I just don't think it's worth the debt. I think you'll be way more successful quicker and establish a better foundation by just starting right now. So, very end of the video, you're like, okay, so I don't think I want to do film school. What do I do? What are the action steps? And for me, if you were sitting right here with me, this is what I would tell you. I'd say, okay, Johnny, I'm going to pretend that's your name, Johnny. All right, let's make this work. I would say, okay, let's get you a solid camera. I would start out with just a solid camera and a monopod and just shoot your first wedding. I would reach out to a friend who's getting married and just say, hey, you're not doing a wedding video. I'd like to do it for free, and just show up to that wedding and just do it for absolutely free. Whatever you give them is going to be better than nothing. So just go out there, do that wedding, and do 3 or 4 of those. Start developing a portfolio. You don't even need a website. Just go shoot those first couple weddings, and that's how you're gonna get started. And then after you've shot 3 or 4 weddings, start charging a bare minimum, like $500 for your wedding film, and just start doing that. And then, you know, after you've done 3 of those $500 weddings, then charge $1,000. And before you know it, you're gonna be making $1,500 per wedding, and it's gonna pay back for all of the gear that you just invested in, and that is the way to do it. And then on top of that, I would really encourage Johnny to take a wedding filmmaking course or something like that, and or to do a mentorship. Like we do mentorships. It's not a like plug specifically for me, but find a filmmaker who really inspires you, who you love their work, and try to set up a one-on-one Skype mentorship with them. We do them. You can, you know, ask me about doing one if you want to do one with me or any other filmmaker, and that's going to teach you like way more than sitting in a classroom for 6 months learning about advertising, which you're not really even passionate about. So that's the, if you came to me and said, I want to do wedding filmmaking, I want to do film school, I'd be like, oh, whoa, hold on, maybe you should consider this. So I hope that was really helpful for you guys. I know when I was going to film school, I felt like no one was talking about this, about should you not? And so I really hope this helps you guys, because it's what I would have wanted to hear when I was considering film school. All right, well, that's today's video. And then also we have actually, what I'm gonna put right here is our presets are gonna come out super soon. So if you wanna be notified when our video presets come out, please click this link right here, put your link in there, or put your email to be notified when they come out, because they're really, really rad and they're coming out soon. So click the link right here and you can get notified when our presets come out. All right, guys, well, like always, I just tremendously appreciate your support and your encouragement throughout this whole YouTube journey of ours. And yeah, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, see ya.